Hey guys, this is Wendell Kelly, man. This is Leverage Your Life. Hey, what's up, guys? This is Wendell Kelly again. This is Leverage Your Life podcast. I'm here with one of my favorite, most impactful, influential people in my life when it comes to investing. His name is Nate Joy. Nate Joy is going to come here and drop some jewels for you guys. I see that he's wearing his over 50 cheat sheet. You know, I've been inspired watching some of his Instagram posts. If you can check them out, it's been some great information on there. I'm learning from Nate, so I'm gonna try to touch on that, but I'm also want to touch on that real estate business with Nate.
Thanks for having me, my man. I'm learning from him as we go, so I'm excited.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm gonna give you a little quick background about how I met Nate. So I used to be with another brokerage. He's another mentor, one of the great men I ever met in my life as well. And I always like follow that guy around. You know, I looked at him like more of like a father figure to me because he had so much knowledge and he reminded me of me because he came from DC and you know whatever. He came from DC, graduated, so I followed him around. And then I started to sit at certain tables and I watched the tables that person sat in. And one of those tables that he always sat in, he always had this guy here. And the old broker that I had was like the smartest guy in the world. But when we sit at the table with this guy, he always asking him questions. So I said, you know what? I said, if he's always asking him questions, I need to get more closer to him. And then I reached out to him one day, and he told me, he said, man, sure, man, I'm always here to help, man. He said, but you got to get up early, and you got to meet me at Panera Bread. Like, he said, like 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, man, I live like 40 minutes away. I said, you know what? The pick his brain, I'm going to get my butt up early and get up there. And I made it, and ever since then, man, I've been picking his brain forever, man. So I don't know if you remember that, but that's exactly how I ran into you, and that's how I started nurturing our relationship. Yeah. And ever since then, man, it's been good, man. But yeah, Nate, if you can, man, give people a little background, because what I want to do in this podcast, what I try to do in this podcast, it's called Leverage Your Life, right? Okay. And I want people to understand how to leverage their life to become successful, you know, to level up in life, right? Okay. So I know all of us started from somewhere, and even if we up here, and we got to there, or down here, and we got to there, you know, but we always started somewhere that we leveraged our life, meaning sometimes we spent time, leveraged our time, leveraged our kids, or whatever it is, to get to a point to where we at now. So, you know, me knowing you super successful, well, I don't want to say super successful, you have some success in your life. What did you do, man? Tell me, give us a little background on where you came from, man.
Okay. Yeah, no worries. Well, thanks for having me. And I do remember Panera. Yeah. But I remember it going a little differently. I remember you getting there and then me asking you 1,000 questions. So I probably learned more from him than he even gets from me. So matter of fact, before we went on camera, I was asking my man 1,000 questions, and he was finally like, all right, man, can we start? I think that's important. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so basically, I grew up in the PG County area, went to Bishop McNamara, and I always start like when I was younger, because one of the things that I always tell people, I was fortunate to have good parents that instilled in me dreaming, and I think that that's pretty much what you're talking about with leverage your life. Correct. It all comes down to, you know, figuring out, dreaming what you want to be, because anything you want in life, you can achieve, but you got to think about it first and then get it. And, you know, the tendency is, as we get older, when we're younger, that's all we do, right? We play cops and robbers, we do all this. We dream about being in the NBA. And then somewhere along the line, we get older and we start settling and not dreaming. And fortunately for me, as I look back on my, life, I've always been a dreamer. So I think that's step number one. I don't care how old you are, I'm 53 and I'm still dreaming. Yeah. So from there, the bulk of my corporate career was spent in pharmaceuticals. But as you know, my passion has always been real estate investing. Yeah. And I highly recommend to your audience, I don't care what you're doing, whether you're a school teacher, whether you're the CEO of a company, real estate investing is the best vehicle for regular people like us.
Sound like me, man. I'm letting you.
It's like the best vehicle for regular people like us.
Absolutely.
To become millionaires and retire and do, what we have passions for.
I tell pretty much everybody. I said, real estate investing is something you must do. I said it's like you brushing your teeth. It's something that you gotta do. It's not like, okay, I'm thinking about getting into the investing. I'm thinking about doing this. I want to start my own business. I said, okay, you start your own business, but real estate is something that you gotta do.
100%. Yeah, I mean, it's.
Well, I'm sorry. Because
no. Keep going. I mean, I think that's what it's all about.
Right.
And that's what impressed me with you so much is that when we both met each other, we actually were in different careers per se. But I think what gravitated me towards you is that we always had a passion and a love for real estate. And you do it long enough, eventually, to be your primary source. And that's how it worked out. Sure. Exactly. I remember.
Yeah, exactly. I remember. Absolutely, man. And so just to speak to that, man, just to give people more content about that. So I used to be a firefighter in DC, and then my real estate retail service took off, like traditional buying and selling.
Yeah.
And then I got into investing more. So now the retail portion has kind of tailed off because of the market shift. But once I got into investing, I've been good, Nate. Because I'm like I got properties that I own.
Exactly.
I just sit back and just live off of that for a minute. That's the beauty of investing.
Right.
I have properties so I'm like, oh man, we're not closing as much as the frequency that we have. We still got consistent flow, not the frequency that we have.
Yeah.
But then when I look at every first of the month coming, I'm like, oh wow, I'm comfortable.
Yeah, exactly.
But again, I'm still got big dreams and I'm still pushing forward with something bigger, man. So that's again, speaking to that, man. That's why it's something that you must do.
Yeah. So let me ask you a question. You were a firefighter, and most people would love to have that job because I remember, work 3 days, 4 days off, or whatever.
3 days off.
Yeah, 1 day, 3 days off. Great benefits.
Absolutely.
So you were ultra comfortable. How did you get into real estate from being a firefighter?
I'm glad you asked that question, man. A lot of people don't ask me questions about me. But so what happened was, man, I got into real estate because I seen when I bought my first house as a firefighter, the agent, I seen his check. $7,000 at that time was the biggest check I ever seen in my life, Nate. I never seen that. Like one check for me at that time. Like your early 20s, right? And I'm like, man, I never seen that. So I said, and I was getting like $1,500 a month from the child's. I said child's. That's another story. $1,500 a month from the $1,500 a paycheck from the fire department.
Okay.
So I seen that $7,000 check. I said, you know what? I'm about to start real estate right now. I want to be a real estate agent.
Oh, okay.
2 months later, I became a real estate agent. 4 years later, that guy who sold me my house, he joined my team.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's still on my team. I love him to death.
Wow.
He's like a mentor / agent on my team. I love him, man. He's on my team, man. So when I seen, I just dived in and I said, dang, $7,000. I can make this all the time. So I was using it as a supplement to my fire department. So the fire department was paying my bills, and then being a real estate agent, I started to make $7,000 or more, whatever it is, every two, 3 times a month. Then I'm like, oh, I can do this. Then I ran into Greg.
Okay.
Then I ran into Greg. I'm like, man, life is bigger than this.
Right. You just keep loving it.
I'm on the fire department. I'm just looking at real estate as a supplement.
Yes.
But when I met Greg, I said, real estate can be bigger than this.
Exactly.
That's how Greg life is. I'm like, he don't punch the clock. He's running the business. He's super successful, man. And that changed my life when I went, because I was at another brokerage, then I went to Greg's brokerage. When I met Greg, it changed my life. It changed my life. Greg gave me a lot of. We was on my podcast before. We talked about that. Some of the conversations that people had stick with you forever. And he was telling me, he said, man, if you want to be mediocre, then continue doing what you're doing right now. That's what he was telling me.
Right.
He said, if you don't want to be mediocre, do what I asked you to do. He said, I've been where you've been at. He said, I've been where you want to go at, and wherever you think I'm at, I'm past that. That's what he said.
Right.
when he told me that, man, just try to stay in the camera.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. I know you want, but when he told me that, man, you know, that it changed my life. It really did change my life, man. And I started to hustle hard, and I built me a team and all those type of things, man. And then to a point now, I'm just comfortable, but I'm hungry again.
Nice.
I'm trying to get back out there. Yeah. But I'm saying it's not about me, Nate.
It's all good. It's all good. Yeah.
Most people don't ask me, man. But yeah, so you grew up here.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say, we had a similar story in terms of how I got into real estate. Same story where I bought my first house. It was actually a condo. It was up in New York. So I was a pharmaceutical rep. And I moved from here to New York City and bought my first condo. And then I was on vacation in Brazil with some of my buddies. And this was I was probably right in my early 30s. So I got into real estate, you know, fairly late.
Right.
And it was a rainy day, and there was a book on the table, Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Robert Kiyosaki.
Started reading that book, Robert Kiyosaki. Once I read that book, it said you can sell your primary residence and you will, you know, get it tax-free.
Right.
And I was like, man, as soon as I went home, I sold my primary residence. At closing, I got a check for $40,000. Similar to your story, it was the most money I had ever seen in my life. I was like, I literally thought I was rich. I was like, oh my gosh. So I got that, and just like you, I was hooked. I said, this is what I want to do. And then I took that 40,000 and I parlayed it into properties down here in Maryland. New York, it was just way too expensive. And, pretty much from there, just like you said, it's an evolution where you just got to be in the game. And once you're in the game, you never know where it's going to take you. And then you just kind of, you know, you just keep kind of, matter of fact, one of my posts today was on just keep watering that seed. Once you plant the seed, leave it in the ground. You know, most of us, we want to dig it up every 2-3 days, see if it's there, see if it's growing. But whenever, you know, I've been successful, I've just trusted the process, planted it. And, you know, so for real estate, just like you, started with the rentals, started doing flips, and then learned later on, pretty much what you were saying is that it takes the same amount of effort to try to make 50,000 as it does to make $1 million.
I love that, man.
And, you know, many of us, we just don't have the faith and confidence in ourselves. So we settle and say, I'm gonna go for the 50. When I like let loose and just like didn't care and started aiming for bigger, it was like, and this is what I always tell your audience.
I love that.
You get what you look for. You look for $50,000 deals, that's what you're going to get. You look to make $1 million, that's what you're going to get. So it really goes to your podcast about leveraging up. It's really whatever you can see, you can achieve.
I agree.
And that's pretty much how I live my life.
So it's so unique. I mean, that's so funny that you say that because one of the main reasons why I left the fire department, I broke it down. So, you know, obviously now I sell benefits. So I broke all the benefits down and I understood how much I was making. I was making under $100,000 a year then at that time. And it's a big thing. So I love the fire department. I love the people there. I'm all my friends still there. Most of my friends are firefighters, but for me, I wanted different from my life. So what I seen, so most of them in April, all of those guys take a promotional exam. Right? And so April is the promotional exam time. They spend at least 8 months. They spend 8 months to get promoted. So they spend 8 months of their time studying to get promoted, right? They literally spend 6 to 7 hours a day. They go into these seminars. They go into these groups, promotional groups, they study groups, and got 13, 14 books. All this for April, and they started this maybe like in the summertime of the year before, right? All this for the promotion exam. The promotion was like $5,000 raise, Nick.
Oh wow, yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So me got into real estate and I'm making money. And I'm like, these dudes put some, and I was a part of it at first, putting in the effort to start studying. I know what it took to get just for a $5,000 raise.
Exactly.
I said the same effort, and that's when I met Greg. Greg gave me told me about Robert Kiyosaki. The first book he gave me was, and I said this in the podcast before. What was the first book? But anyway, he gave me a book. Right?
Okay.
He said you need to program your mind. Study this book. I studied that book. Then he gave me another book. Study this book. And I started thinking, man, I could grab my own books. Fire department already got me reading 13 books for a $5,000 raise.
Okay.
I can study my own books and get $1 million raise. You understand? That's exactly what I said. So the same thing you just said is literally what kind of helped me shift away from the fire department. I'm like, they got a small frame of thinking.
Yeah.
To me though, there's no judgment. Maybe they happy. It's people that live those lives and they happy. I got friends that still there that's been successful. And I go see them and they like, man, I'm loving this job. That's their life. For me, it's different. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. How do you feel about that? Yeah.
No, I mean, look, it comes down to, once again, what your dream is.
Right, absolutely.
Because your dream was something bigger, real estate. Somebody else's dream could be, on a whole different level. And the fire, department is getting them. Some people, that might have been their dream.
It is, right?
And, so I think at the end of the day, no matter what it is, the point that we're making is just don't settle.
Absolutely.
If you feel stagnant and low energy, it's because your dream isn't big enough. And I always tell people, like, dreams are the fuel for your life. So I'm excited to get up at 4 a.m. Like, I go to bed. I can't wait to get up at 4 a.m. and I don't have an alarm clock, but that's because I found my passion. And when you have a dream, it's like, man, you just got so much energy. And I've been on the other side of it where I didn't have a dream. And that's when you kind of sleep in and you're not looking forward to the day. And so I tell people all the time, it doesn't have to be, always money. My two big things are, I wanted financial freedom and optimal health. And I think that both of them, you achieve the same way. You dream big, and then you go after it.
Attack it.
So
I'm glad you mentioned that, man. So I got two other things I want to touch on.
Okay.
Right. So financial freedom. I'm glad you mentioned that. First of all, what is that? What is financial freedom? I have a good understanding, but for the audience, what is financial freedom? What is it? Where can someone start? So where's financial freedom, and how should someone start? How we talk about real estate? If that's something that you feel like is first. Yes. That's what we should talk about. And then the other thing I want to get into is your, the health part. So
no worries. Yeah. So to me, financial freedom is where you have more money coming in than you have bills going out, and you're not stressed. And if you don't want to work, you don't have to. I always say this, rich people, they make a lot of money working. Wealthy people, they make a lot of money while they're sleeping. And so for me, financial freedom is, I think, accruing assets. And that's why I said real estate is such a great, opportunity, because let's say in your instance, or in our instance, the average person might make $3,000 to $5,000. You already know if you get 5 or 6 good rentals, you can replace that income.
Absolutely.
So in terms of where to start, I think what they're doing right now, watching YouTube, watching, people that are successful like yourself, and just kind of learning. Here's the thing. Success is super easy. However, the hardest part about success is believing how easy it is.
I love
it. Because most of us, we just won't believe that, you're probably watching 2 regular guys talk and you're like, oh, but they're not giving us the secrets. There really aren't any, secrets.
That's true.
It's just take a chance. If real estate investing is what you want, go on YouTube, Google as much stuff. The blueprint for success is this. Find somebody who is doing what you want to do, meet with them, and then just follow step by step what they're doing.
Absolutely.
But the key is you have to follow step by step. Many of us, we either think we're too smart and we want to reinvent the wheel, or we just don't believe that it's that easy. And, at the end of the day, if you could just success leaves clues, and if you could just follow in the footsteps of somebody else, it truly is that easy.
Absolutely. Yeah, so let me retract what you said. I agree with you 100% on that. Obviously, you've been doing it forever, so I appreciate that.
not ever.
I lean on you for advice, but yeah. So just recapping that part, because I'm thankful to hear that. It mimics what I feel. So you saying financial freedom is truly just having your assets, making more money with your assets than your liabilities, right?
Exactly.
And that's really what it is. And then because you're free now, you don't have any financial bills or anything, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So and that mimics again, like what I said. We have an up and down portion in real estate right now because of the market, which is cool. But I'm comfortable because I got property. So I feel financially free, and that's one of the easiest ways through real estate. But the add to also what you're saying, because so again, like I tell everybody, and I'm gonna tell you guys, real estate is a must. So this conversation about real estate is something you gotta do, right? But if it's something else that you really want to be passionate about, put in the effort to study it. So don't again, like you said, Nate, don't try to reinvent the wheel. Whatever you're thinking about, it's nothing new under the sun. It's nothing new under the sun.
Nope.
It's always been. I mean, I literally just read this in the Bible, man. Ecclesiastes literally says nothing new under the sun.
Nothing.
I've seen the riches and the riches and the poor of the poor. All this, so it's already done. It's already done. So all you got to do is just put the effort in, start just studying YouTube videos, and try to find some credible sources. And I'm gonna tell you again, going back to one of my first meetings with Greg, and I'm mentioning him a lot today because he truly was the catalyst for me meeting you.
Yeah.
But one of my first meetings with him, he was telling me, he gave me the Keller Williams book, and he said you don't have to study too. I mean, you don't have to try to figure it out yourself. It's already written in this book.
Right.
You know
there you go.
It's already
just follow the blueprint.
And people, so that's what happened, Nate. I started to move up in Greg's office, like becoming successful, and that's how I met Barbara and everybody else, because I was moving up, and they're like, "How you get so successful so fast?"
Yeah.
I said, "I literally read the book. That's it.
That's it. I just followed the blueprint.
So everybody want to get creative and start doing their own thing, but it's
already there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So and that's so I'm glad you mentioned it. That's what financial freedom is. You don't really have real estate is a must. You don't have to target anything. Just target what you're gonna be happy in doing, right? I mean, whatever makes you happy, get up early.
Yeah, whatever makes you happy.
Right.
And I think you hit the head on the nail. Yeah. You just find, successful people. You're an average of the 5 people you hang around with the most.
Love that.
And so if you want to be a millionaire, find 4 other millionaires or 5 other millionaires, and then just hang around them, and you're like, well, how am I going to hang around a millionaire? Hey, believe me, millionaires, all you got to do is go to somebody who's making money and say, can I work for you for free? You're going to be hanging around them, and then you'll learn. And whatever it is, it's like birds of a feather flock together.
Absolutely.
And you don't always have to hang around them personally. Like you said, you can go to YouTube and you could have 4 people, man. It's crazy. I watch these YouTube influencers.
Right.
I literally feel like they're my friends because I'm like just watching them all day. And so my mind is connected with them, all
Absolutely.
day.
And another one of my mentors mentioned Warren Buffett was his.
Warren Buffett mentored you?
Man, you know.
Hey, man, you went to the billionaire status.
But so he wanted to be what Warren Buffett is. So he never met Warren Buffett in his life. He said he read all Warren Buffett books. He watched all his videos.
Yes.
Next thing you know, so Warren Buffett owned Coca-Cola. So he was drinking Coke a day. He said next thing you know, he started drinking the Coca-Cola.
Man, exactly.
He said Warren Buffett had a certain meal that he ordered from one of the restaurants that he owned. He said he started to order the same thing like that. So you
everything.
becoming to pick them habits.
Yeah.
Them are actually millionaire habits.
There you go.
Right?
Exactly.
Those are millionaires or billionaires.
I don't know about drinking the Coke every
exactly.
day, but
so that's a good segue, man. That's a good
definitely.
segue. So this is the last thing I'm gonna ask you about.
Okay.
I try to keep it 20 to 30 minutes, man.
Yeah.
Driving time.
Yeah.
Okay, somebody driving, they can listen.
No worries.
Get to work. So
Yeah.
So speaking on that, man, I'm loving this, man. This is what made me reach out to you.
Yeah.
Seeing your Instagram post, man.
Yeah.
And like you just killing it, man. I remember you always been pretty much a healthy kind of guy, man. We always talked about health.
Right.
You took it to another level, man. Can you explain a little bit about that? Yeah.
So for your audience, for all of y'all, by the way, it's at over 50 cheat codes. So follow me on IG if you get a chance. I drop tips on optimal health as well as real estate investing.
Absolutely.
It's a health and a wealth type of thing. And basically what it is I'm giving back to all the people, like the different lessons that I've learned over, my 50 plus years here in life. And one of the things, that is near and dear to me is optimal health. And, without our health, like none of this could be possible. Because, it's sad. You go to the grocery store now, and next time you go to the grocery store, check it out. How many people can physically walk around the grocery store without holding on to the card? And it's just like a lot of sickness.
Right.
And one of the things that I've learned is that when your health is firing on all cylinders, your business just takes off. So when I launched at Over 50 Cheat Code, it was really to help people and inspire them to get in the best shape and health of their lives, mainly through nutrition. And what I found was my real estate business and all these other ideas, when you're healthy, your mind just thinks so much clearer.
Right.
It just started 2Xing and 3Xing. And so that would be my my little segue. We'll wrap it up.
Right.
Follow me at Over 50 Cheat Code. You'll get some free advice about health as well as building wealth. And maybe one day you'll be like this guy.
No, trust me. You want
running
to
your own show.
Trust me, you want to be like him. But anyway, guys, this is Nate Joy, Over 50 Cheat Code. I'm telling you, man, this guy gives me so much knowledge. I know he said, well, maybe we do feed off each other, and that's great to know, man, that I do give you advice. And it's funny, man, because I have friends that say they look up to me, and I'm like, dude, you don't understand how much I be picking your brain as well. So I get it now. Exactly.
It's a two-way street.
It's a two-way street, man. So Nate Joy, man, this is Leverage Your Life Podcast. I'm Wendell Kelly. I'll see you guys again next time.
Peace.